Welcome back to the Terry and Jesse Show. Jess Romero is giving us a great report on his trip to Baltimore, Maryland. And Jesse, what else happened there that's interesting to our listeners?
I'll tell you was going to fascinate the listeners. Is I had a conversation with a scientist who's an atheist. Mm-hmm. This guy has so many advanced degrees. I think he got every degree known to man. And not only does he have all these advanced degrees, he's a Nobel laureate,
right?
Which means that he's made major breakthroughs in the area of science, and he's been respected in the world in the field of science as somebody who's he's really like the top of the food chain. This guy could walk into Harvard, Columbia, and people know who he is. I sat across from him in the restaurant in the evening after the conference. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, I was there with a lot of young Catholics, and they're like, Jesse, you got to sit across from Dr. Klauser. We don't want to sit across. People were intimidated him because he was open. He goes, I'm here talking with you Catholics because I agree with you guys on climatology's fake science, but I'm an atheist, and I think you guys are wrong.
So Bring it on.
He was a vocal kind of a, Terry, you know those old guys?
I know.
I mean, I'm old, Terry. I'm 62, but he's like 82. Yeah. I said, Doctor, you make me look young. I told him, So I had the assignment of sitting across the table from him.
Did anybody record it? I would have loved to hear that. Go ahead.
It happened organically. I mean, but none of us knew he was going to go off on us. It just all of a sudden it happened organic. It would have been the best recording that I've ever done in my life had it happened.
Yeah.
So he goes, and I said, I'm not going to say nothing about his atheism. He's an invited guest here by the coalition. He's the expert on climatology. But then he started picking on me. So I'm right across from him, and he goes, Jesse,
dude.
I said, I like everything you had to, because I gave up the wrap up comments, I gave a summation of the conference, like for 5 minutes, like the summary bullet points of what all the experts said.
Sure.
And then I said that I believe that part of the whole climate change depopulation religion also includes abortion and contraception. So that's when at dinner he goes, I disagree with you, Jesse. We need more abortions and more contraception. We have too many people on the planet. So I said, so I let him talk. Yeah. And now the whole table's silent because everybody's intimidated of this guy,
Sure.
And I said, okay, doctor, I'm going to let you talk. Then you're going to let me respond, right? He goes, okay. So he said, we need more contraception. That's why I disagree with you Catholics. We have too many people on the planet. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, doctor. So let me talk now. I said, overpopulation, it's a myth. He goes, no, it's not. I said, yes, let me tell you why. And you can verify what I'm telling you. I said, I can tell the way you're talking. You're kind of, you have this Malthusian ideas.
Tip on your block too.
Yeah. Malthus, he was a Protestant minister back in the 19th century who thought the world was overpopulated. Uh-huh. And then you got another Protestant who wrote a book, and he quoted him to me. He goes, I believe in Paul Ehrlich, the population bomb, Jesse. He wrote that book in 1968 that we're overcrowded. And he took his arguments from Thomas Malthus. I said, I know. I said, I'm very familiar with the people you're talking about. I said, doctor, did you know that Paul Ehrlich in his book, The Population Dime Bomb, back in 1968, did you know that he said that all marine life in the ocean would be dead by 1980? Guess what, doctor? He was wrong. He goes, he said that? I said, yep, it's in his book. I said, he was wrong. And about population, I said, did you know, and this has been done by a lot of people, Steve Mosher, many other people who are experts in this area, and I gave him some names and websites. Sure. I told him, did you know, doctor, that every human being fits in the state of Texas? We know that because experts like Steve Mosher and others, they've taken on a computer and they've put all 8 billion people in the state of Texas. It looks like little pins, little pins of that little pinpricks on the map, and everybody still has about a 10 by 10 foot square space of land to themselves. I said, go on the internet and looked that up. I said 198 countries would be absolutely empty and we could stuff everybody in the state of Texas. He goes, oh, I never heard that. I said, it's on the internet. Scientists demonstrate this all the time.
Incredible.
I said, doctor, and you and me flew over here to Baltimore, Maryland. I came from Phoenix. You came from San Francisco. I said, did you notice that when you flew, you left San Francisco, which is pretty crowded, a lot of city lights and traffic, and then you flew and for hours over here and you're looking down and guess what? You're seeing nothing but barren land, empty desert, empty desert. I said, doctor, we are far from overpopulated. You drank the Kool-Aid. Yes, you may be very intelligent on climate change. I said, but you're out of your league here. I said, I'm quoting to you other experts and they disagree with you.
Good.
Then he goes, he said, well, as an atheist, I disagree because there are some things in the Bible that I disagree with. I said, okay, so you're
another topic.
I said, so you're bringing up the Bible now. Okay, you brought up, I didn't. I said, look at doctor. Most people on planet Earth, when you put Muslims, Jews, and Christians, Catholics, and Protestants together, that's the vast majority of people on planet Earth. When you cobble all those three monotheistic religions together, we're the majority on planet Earth. Guess what? All those three religions, you know what we have in common? We all believe in the book of Genesis. And the book of Genesis says, be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. I said, 1.5 billion Muslims believe that. 2.2 billion Christians of every Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox believe that. And all the Jews believe that. I said, and so God didn't tell us to be fruitful and multiply, then kill your baby or throw him, offer him to the god Moloch or throw him in a volcano or chop him up in pieces at Planned Parenthood. I said, as people of faith, monotheistic people, we take that serious. Yep. And then he said, well, I believe in science, not religion. So he opened up another Pandora's box. I said, doctor, I said, okay, so you're a scientist and are you trying to allude that scientists can't have faith? I said, doctor, I recently read an article and I'll share it with you. It's on Britannica.com. Let me tell you what the article says. The article says that of the 300 most respected scientists in the world, 200 of them are Roman Catholic Christian. Did you know that, doctor? He goes, what? I said, okay, I'm going to quote it again. He goes, Britannica says that? I said, yeah. It says, of the 300 greatest scientists in the world that have made major breakthroughs like yourself, I said, 200 of them are Roman Catholic Christian. He goes, I didn't know that. He goes, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, verify that.
I said, yeah, please do.
Go ahead.
I said, and doctor, in case you think that Catholics are simple-minded thinkers, I said, science came from Catholicism. Your field of expertise was given to us by the Catholic Church as a discipline when the Catholic Church opened up the first university in the 9th century. The Catholic Church included, as part of the disciplinary studies, science. We don't run away from science, doctor, because whatever's true comes from God. Scientific truth, biblical truth, historical truth, biological truth, genetic truth, it all comes from God, the source of truth. I said, and so your field of expertise, it comes from the Catholic Church because we're the ones that built the university system and we're the ones that included science. So he's looking at me. I said,
who is this Romero?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, Terry, he's
what?
looking at me like, man, is this a setup? Who is this guy? They're like probably thinking like, I don't know, some ventriloquist, Father Robert Spitzer is, I'm just a puppet and Father Robert Spitzer is speaking through me to this guy. Because it would take a giant like Father Robert Spitzer to speak to this giant.
Yeah.
So he's like, who is this guy? Does this guy have an earpiece like Biden? Are they telling him exactly what to say from the Vatican or something? So he said, I said, doctor, furthermore, to show you that the Catholic Church is the best friend that science has ever had, I said, the Catholic Church invented the first laboratory. The Catholic Church invented built the first observatory. The Catholic Church invented the telescope and microscope. I said, if you look at all the inventions within science, they were invented by a lot of them were Catholic priests. And then he took kind of a cheap shot. He goes, oh, that's only because you guys have been around so long. I said, well, that's the point, doctor. It's because we're the one true church. That's why we've been around so long.
That's funny.
Now, here's another one that really that really got him. He goes, well, Jess, I appeal to, you appeal to the church fathers and popes and doctors, and I get that. But I appeal to Charles Darwin. He's like my go-to guy. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'm glad you brought him up, doctor. I said, Charles Darwin wrote The Origin of Species, and he's the one that posited the theory of evolution. He never said it was a science. He said it was a theory. But I'm glad you brought him up. I said, doctor, did you know that Charles Darwin, he wrote an autobiography. He himself wrote about him. And did you know that on page 92 and 93 of his autobiography, Charles Darwin says, quote, I deserve to be called a theist. You know what a theist is, doctor? It means somebody who believes in God. In his autobiography, in fact, I'll read the paragraph that Charles Darwin wrote in his autobiography. Another source of conviction in the existence of God, Charles Darwin wrote this, not a pope, connected with reason and not with feelings, impresses me as having much more weight. This follows from the extreme difficulty, or rather impossibility, of conceiving this immense and wonderful universe, including man with this capacity of looking far backwards and far into futurity as a result of blind chance or necessity. When thus reflecting, I feel compelled to look to a first cause, having an intelligent mind and in some degree analogous to that of man. And I deserve to be called a theist. Charles Darwin, in his autobiography, says, I deserve to be called a believer in God. I said, Dr. Clauser, did you know that he admitted he believed in God? He goes, I never read that. All right, page 92, 93 in his autobiography.